According to movie critic Joe Morgenstern, the B movie is just a bunch of crap, and why the heck did Jerry Seinfeld do this movie? Why? If it's your first time here, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell right next to it so you can get notified every time we have a new video. Now let's see what this stupid critic had to say. B-movie isn't a B-movie, it's a Z-movie, as in dismal. That's a stretch. Dismal doesn't start with Z. The Z's in the middle. That no one ever does that. Or it would have been called the E-movie. This movie's crappy. I give it a P. What are you doing? This animated feature might have been tolerable, though for what demographic, I'm not sure. Children? Animated B? No curses? Family friendly? I'm going with children. I'm going with children. If its hyper-vocal star Jerry Seinfeld had chosen to drone, here come the B puns. And I can't wait to try and come up with better puns than you, or worse ones, depending on my mood or how much I give a shit. Instead, he delivers every line, every stupid B joke that he and his cronies could cook up, with a pounding, punishing triumphalism that recalls not the Seinfeld of Seinfeld, but Milton Berle on a really bad night. It's weird for Seinfeld to channel an old-timey comic, because Seinfeld kind of is an old-timey comic based on his routines. It's all, what's the deal with meh? What's the deal with honey? Who are we making this for? A queen? Freddie Mercury? RuPaul? As you may have gleaned from a publicity campaign that's been slightly less evasive than the influenza pandemic of 1918. Wow. Just people dying. I get the analogy, but all I can think of is just people getting horribly sick and dying because they saw, you know, a movie poster. Plus, why are all your references so ancient? About B-movie, like a current movie for children. Maybe spice it up with a little bit with like something recent, or at least more recent than 1918. How about the Nixon administration, or I Love Lucy? I don't know. Disco. Mr. Seinfeld's character, a B named Barry B. Benson, has just graduated from college and can't face a life of making honey. The story's borrowings from The Graduate include a swimming pool. Yeah, but luckily, children haven't seen The Graduate, so who gives a crap? And if they have, who are their parents? And we should definitely talk to them and call social services. These are the ways that daddy of 5 becomes daddy of 3. Escaping the hive, he goes out into the world as a pollen jock, a member of an airborne squadron that sprinkles a DreamWorks version of Disney dust on Central Park. So it's just, you know, dust. Animated dust. It's weird how it looks so similar. Yeah, it's animated dust. What do you want it to look like? That's how the pandemic happened. They sprinkled the dust and everyone got sick. And falls in love with Vanessa Bloom, a florist voiced by Renée Zellweger. And why not, since Barry can talk? Do you just get mad anytime you see an animated movie? Because there's always something talking that's not supposed to be able to talk in like every animated movie. Is it because it's like an interspecies relationship? Because that's unfair. Love is love is love. His problem, and ours, is that he can't stop talking. It's Jerry Seinfeld. And it's a bee that talks. To be honest, if a bee could talk, it wouldn't shut the f up. It already buzzes constantly. It wouldn't stop talking. Bees would be like the most annoying animals that, like, if they could talk. They would literally be BuzzFeed, just can't get away from it. Shut up. I don't want to know the 10 best ways to make honey, even though I won't believe number 7. And her boyfriend, Ken, is monstrously dislikable. Vanessa is no bargain either, at least for a while. Wow. It is interesting for a character to go through some sort of change. Oh wait, no it's not. Is that your dating process, or how you met your wife? She's alright. I feel like she'll get better over time. Why not indeed? What's the harm if one of the most successful comics in showbiz history business gets to buzz around in a would-be comic fable about the bees and the bees? There is literally no harm in that. None. It's a really simple answer to your question. I don't know why you posed the question. You should have answered it while you were writing it. God created Adam and Eve, not Adam and Bee. The graphics are pretty enough, a vision of the hive that's somewhere between Richard Scarry and Rube Goldberg. And the script is not, after all, content free. because that would have been us staring at a blank screen for 1.5 hours. Of course it wasn't content free. Even if there's no dialogue, there's gonna be content. Once Barry discovers that people eat honey, he sues the human race for exploiting his species' treasure. It's just that the movie aims so low and still manages to miss all distinction. I feel like the movie aimed high. You have a bee suing all of humanity. That's a pretty extreme plot for a small bee. I feel like aiming low would be like just having only bees, no other characters, and just a simple plot about friendship. Like if they just did, you know, Friends with bees. At one point in Barry's honey trial, an exasperated defense lawyer asks, how do we know this talking bee isn't some kind of Hollywood wizardry? Would that wizards had left their mark. This is Hollywood hackery. Or it's what happens when someone doesn't have a defense and they start saying stupid crap. Wow, that sounds eerily familiar. If it's your first time here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the little notification bell right next to it. If you want to see another video from us, click one of the ones on the screen. And until we see you next time, geek out and game on.